What's up, internet? My name's Ori. It is Tuesday, August 26th, day number 50 inside the Big Brother house. Vince's Renom upsets half the house, but can he deflect that anger elsewhere? Plus, things get personal, and Keanu, he makes a passionate plea. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Little bit of a recap for you. If you guys haven't been keeping up with everything going on this week, Vince pulled out the win in the wall competition and is the new HOH. He nominated Mickey, Kelly, and Ava as he tried to kind of straddle the middle of this very split house. But Mickey went on to win the power of veto, meaning that Vince has to make a renom, and there's not many good options that wouldn't blow up his entire game. The pushing and pulling of Vince continued not only late into the night, where, like I said, when I was recording yesterday's update, Keanu was still going on up to try and talk to Vince to be that last one to talk to him before today's veto ceremony. And that continued in the morning as more and more people tried to get into Vince's ear, be that last one to kind of filibuster and make sure that their point was the one that was freshest in his mind before he headed on in to make his decision. Rachel kept on going and trying to make things with Vince pretty clear that she needs to stay and is not to go up on the block, that she's with him and that she will ride with him. They can go to the end with the judges and this alliance. And Keanu also tried to get on in there with Vince multiple times. Once again, kind of sitting out on the balcony, kind of waiting his turn to get on in there. Catherine didn't even really seem to get that much of an opportunity to pitch her case for herself. Though also like Keanu wasn't really actually, waiting up there to get that moment. She was just kind of letting it happen. So Vince didn't really go to her. We then, of course, go to our veto ceremony, and Mickey did use the power of veto, and Catherine was the one who went up on the block. Vince definitely making his choice here between the two sides of the house on which side he wanted to go to. Like again, I think his gut was telling him, hey, put Rachel up on the block. But one of the big issues is, and we talked about this in yesterday's update, breaking down all the votes. If he were to put Rachel up on the block, there was a chance that depending on who she was up there against, if she was against Kelly, she would not have been evicted. So it was one of those situations where, yeah, you could take that shot, but if Kelly doesn't win the blockbuster, then Rachel stays. And then you have taken that shot at Rachel and it didn't even land. That was kind of Vince's big worry. He ended up going with Catherine while he does kind of anger the rest of the house. That side, right, with Catherine, Keanu, Kelly, and even Lauren, one of his closest allies, he ends up kind of saving that shot. And one of the things he's attempting to do here is keep each side fighting each other, right? He's got Morgan and Lauren kind of going after each other. He's got Catherine and Kelly going after Rachel, Rachel going after Keanu, Keanu even going after Rachel. So he's got the two sides kind of going at each other here a bit. And that's his eventual goal, to be able to try and get himself out of this very tight spot. Some of it, I don't even think is acting. I think a lot of it is Vince just really struggling with these decisions. And it's not an easy game at the end of the day. We like to think like, oh yeah, you just go on in there, you make your moves, and that's what you do. But it can be such a nerve-wracking experience trying to figure out what those best moves are. And if you don't have that in you, if you are not ready for it, it can be hell to put yourself through. So I kind of understand some of his worries here. It is not an easy decision to make because it is, at the end of the day, a $750,000 mistake. And the more that time it goes on in that house, the harder those decisions do end up being. I wouldn't say it was as bad as Lauren's indecision, right? He really just kind of was weighing out his options, but the aftermath definitely is worse than Lauren's indecision. He is struggling so hard dealing with the ramifications of his nomination. Rachel, though, is, pumping him up, saying, you made the best move. She is pretty much going completely against Keanu now at this point. Even I think the hoodie originally came from Jimmy, but at some point Rachel gave it to Keanu and she took that back. She's kind of been ignoring him most of the day. At one point, Keanu was saying like, "Hey, you wanna talk?" And she said, "Why don't you just turn around and make your little eggs and leave me alone?" Keanu, though, did also have a very passionate plea that he made to Vince. He goes over like all the different things that are going on, and how like him and Vince, they have to keep fighting, they have to stick together. And he really went on into him about so much that so that Vince, even at one point, he was bent over, he had his hands on his knees, he was not doing well. He gets down into the fetal position, like he's literally rocking on the floor, crying, saying, "This is all my fault. This is all my fault. Why did I do this? I'm not good enough for you." And Keanu's like, "No, you are. I chose you for a reason." I'm telling you, this was straight out of like the Notebook, or even dare I say, Brokeback Mountain. Like, I can't quit you. Like, it was just a passionate speech that Keanu was given to Vince, and really, kind of at the end of the day, I think it kind of worked a little bit, right? Like, I think in a way, Keanu still is going to kind of put at least a little bit of trust into Vince because he knows he kind of has no other choice. And that's one of the situations that Vince kind of finds himself in here too, is a lot of the other side, they're upset with him. They don't necessarily trust him 100%, but do they really have a choice other than to attempt to work with him? We'll break that down even more once we get into our allegiance chart here in just a little bit. But again, this kind of went back and forth. This was a long conversation between Keanu and Vince. They just kept going back and forth. Lots of really funny stuff between the two of them. Like I said, it really felt almost like a scene out of the Notebook, right? Like you needed some rain in there, and this would have been cinematic between the two of them. Keanu even said, he's like, "Listen, I'm sorry if this feels like I'm attacking you, but I'm just so frustrated." And again, he's like, "I chose you for a reason. I chose you because I trusted you, but I need you to step up. I need you to stop listening to them. Like, Rachel is going to come after us." He's like, "Listen, I'll even admit, when you burned me the first time, I formed a final two with her, but that doesn't mean we can't move forward. We can't fix this, right? We need us two, and then we need a couple of more. You really only need four people in this." Vince then kind of like pops out of it. This is where like sometimes I feel like he's faking it. Other times I feel like it really is kind of more like genuine, where he actually is struggling with this. Because as soon as he says like we need help, he's like, "Well, Lauren can help. We definitely can use Lauren. Oh, I'm so sorry." And he goes back to is like, "Oh, I need help. Like I messed this all up, and I need to step up. I need to put my big boy pants on. Like this needs to turn around." And I'll tell you, this was one of the funniest things. I can't wait to see what they end up doing with this on the edit, because they're gonna make it into some like soppy passionate thing, when honestly it would be really kind of interesting just to see them put this raw as a conversation of them two going back and forth, because I think it would be kind of interesting to see them lean away from kind of the jokey, funny, like, "Oh, look at this is a big joke," when really it is just like I said, I'm making some jokes about it where it compares to romance novels or romance movies, but it definitely was a very interesting conversation between the two. Like I said, I think it kind of worked a little bit because even Keanu then went on to defend Vince to Catherine and Lauren, saying he was manipulated. And this was all Rachel's fault, and everything like that. There's the other side of the house. While Vince, definitely screwed them over here multiple times. He doesn't necessarily blame Vince. They're blaming the other side of the house, mainly Rachel. Catherine and Kelly also not big fans of Rachel right now. They are really upset with everything that was going on. They went on for a while talking about how much they don't like her, even going as far as saying like how much of a bad role model that she is. Even bring her kids into it a little bit. And I see a lot of people going at them for this kind of talk. And yeah, I kind of agree. Let's keep the kids out of it. But also, I don't like to go at people too hard for what they're doing in there, no matter who it is. Because again, at the end of the day, this house is a nut house. It drives you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. It becomes your whole world. You're not even thinking clearly in there. So a lot of times you're just getting so irrationally mad at other people and taking your anger out on them, that sometimes things like this happen. And I don't want to necessarily go too hard on them. Do I think it is a good thing to bring in somebody's kids into the situation? Absolutely not. But Catherine's going through a lot right now, right? We have to fully be aware of that. Kelly, maybe a little less excuse, right? Maybe a little bit less, but I'm still just in general, right? This house is just so crazy in the pressure cooker that it actually is, that I don't like to be too hard on the house guests when they do these kind of things. We did also get a little bit of talk from Rachel, and I actually think she has the right idea here. She was talking to Ashley, Mickey, and Morgan that, you know what? Catherine's really tight with Lauren, and Keanu has Kelly, but not really, right? Catherine's actually a little bit tighter to Keanu. So if we take out Catherine, Kelly's kind of on her own and might even be a better target this week to take out Catherine than it would be to take out Kelly. But everybody else just kind of agrees. And in the long run, I think this is actually the better idea. Kelly's just too big of a problem, right? She lies, she instigates, she's really good at the competitions. So I understand where Rachel's coming from that from a strategic point, but just the practicality of it, Kelly is a bigger danger. Would probably need to go first before Catherine. We then also did get Catherine finally meeting up with Vince. It took almost all day for this to eventually happen. She tells him, how angry she is about everything that's been going on, about last week being lied to, this week being lied to, and then just everything that's happened to her over the past 2 weeks. And Vince says, he's really sorry, and he's glad that she's even just coming up here to even have the conversation because feels like he doesn't even deserve that. He says he's also, just so upset because he upset so many other people that he cared about, like Lauren and Keanu. And he's like, "Listen, Keanu, let me have it, and deservedly so, right? Like, I understand why he even went that far." But in the end, eventually, they just get back to everything's Rachel's fault. Everything comes back to Rachel, and she's the reason why Catherine's up on the block. She manipulated Vince into voting out Riley last week. She manipulated everything that's going on. She's the reason why this is all a problem. And Catherine said it's just been really hard, right, with just everything that's going on. And she actually did bring up to Vince about losing her mom recently and losing Riley, who was the only person that was really there to kind of confide in, and she didn't feel like she felt like she lost that kind of support that she had in the house. And she also talks about how, like, Vince is like, I didn't even know that was a thing that you were going through right now. And Catherine said, Rachel knew. So, like, she's kind of taking it out even more on Rachel about everything that she's going through. And again, this is why I don't even want to go down the road again, but I'm just saying there's a lot that's going on when you don't handle these things properly in there. And imagine if Riley was ripped out of the house, how much Catherine would have been even more attached to him. So many people were saying we have to do things for Riley or for Catherine. We have to take care of her. We have to protect her, but I don't think they're realizing the situation she's actually in that house with so much going on. A lot of times, if you don't handle these things properly, you can do more damage than you can do good. And it could be a thing where you even end up pushing Catherine even closer to Riley, which I think is the opposite of what a lot of people were wanting to do. And this is why, again, I say I think a lot of people just don't understand the effects that this place has on people and what it can make you go through, even just in the regular time. So anytime there's any extra things going on, anything else that can hurt you and be detrimental to you, it just magnifies it even more. And yeah, maybe that's a case on like, oh, you should do something more. But again, because of everything else that's going on, because of just the dynamics of that house, you have to handle things carefully, or you end up doing more harm than good. So I just want to get off of that, but just saying in general, Catherine's struggling. I mentioned it before, and she's still struggling now. Now let's move on though, because we then also had just a lot of other things going on where people are talking about what potentially could the vote end up being. Right? I think at the end of the day, Ava is 100% safe. No one is going to be voting out Ava. And it really comes down to who ends up winning the blockbuster. We can take a look at our allegiance chart here. And as you see, it's pretty much still just the split house. I still have Vince in a very good spot, despite half the house being very upset, right? You've got Lauren, Keanu, Kelly, and Catherine all not being happy with this decision. Lauren seems to, kind of be like, all right, what other choice do I have though, right? Like Vince is still my number one ally. I don't think Vince is going to put me on the block. So I still have that trust in him as well. Yeah, he's taken out probably my other number one, but really all that really does is push Lauren even closer to Vince as somebody that she couldn't then go and latch onto. Keanu also seems to be trying to work with Vince still, even though he's been screwed over by him multiple times. Kelly's maybe the one that's the most upset. There was a moment where Kelly gave Vince a hug, and then she's just glaring into the camera over his shoulder. So she's probably the one that's the most upset with him still. Very, very much would probably put Vince up on the block if she were to stay and win HOH. Same thing with Catherine. I think if she were to end up staying and win HOH, is a very easy reason to put Vince up on the block. But I don't think that's one that you have to worry about as much, right? We've only seen Catherine win the one veto. So we'll see how that all kind of plays out. Over on the other side, they are elated that Rachel is not up on the block. But again, if you look over at that other side, who is that is mad at Vince right now for putting up Catherine would end up going and work with the other side. The only ones that I really see right now that actually could be good connections that could be formed, Lauren and Ava. That's about it. Lauren and Morgan, Vince has them fighting. Morgan does not like Lauren. Lauren does not like Morgan. So those are at odds, but they're also very good allies to Vince. Keanu and Rachel, both of them going at odds against each other. They are completely against each other at this point now, even though there was the kind of the frenemy relationship that seems to have kind of blown apart now at this point. But they are also connected to Vince. So they're going after each other. You've got Kelly and Catherine, who are also kind of going at Rachel right now. But like I said, Kelly's the only one who I think kind of sees through it all a little bit and is still very angry at Vince, even though she's trying to hide it. And again, I don't see any of them being able to go over to that other side and work with anybody else other than Vince, right? They might be mad, but there's always going to be bigger targets than Vince and people that they're going to need to get out before. So I think while, yeah, it probably would have been a big move to put Rachel up on the block, there is that risk that she would not have gone home because he would not have had the numbers against anybody else except for Ava. So if you are going to take that shot at Rachel, you got to make sure it lands. You can't miss on that one, or then you're a dead man walking in that house. She will have the numbers to be able to do what she wants. Someone will end up putting him on the block, and then he would end up going home. Here, there is a chance now because so many people are fighting at each other. He can kind of fade away into the background, let them fight. And last a little bit longer. So we'll see how this all really plays out. But what do you guys think about everything going on in the Big Brother house right now? Do you think Vince made the right move? Should he have just put up Rachel? Do you think this will end up being beneficial for him? What do you think of everything that's going on, though? Let me know in those comments down below. Who do you think will end up leaving this week? Now that we know our final nominees, who will win the blockbuster? Who do you think will end up being evicted? Let me all know that in the comments down below. Thank you guys all once again so much for watching. Each and every one of you coming on out every single morning. It is amazing how far we have come over all these seasons. Like I said, I cannot thank you guys enough. And I never want that to feel outdone. I know I say it every video, but truly, I mean it. If you are new here, though, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We will have episodes for tomorrow. There will be the veto and any of the Renom situation that we'll see. And then on Thursday will be the eviction. We will be live for that as well. I think I even owe you guys a watch party. If I'm really being honest, we've missed some stuff. Hopefully no more technical issues take place. So we'll get all that done. Check out the links to all my socials in the pinned comment description down below. You get things like Twitter. I think we're like super close to 1,000 followers on Twitter, which would be pretty cool to get before the end of the season. And also the Discord. The Discord's been amazing. It's been popping off. So many of you guys are in there either talking about Big Brother. A lot of people talking about Survivor right now. I'm telling you, if you haven't been watching Survivor Australia versus the World, now is the time to get into it. It is so good. We have some ways that if you need help knowing how to watch it, we could tell you in the Discord. Go to the Discord. There's other great places on there too. We've got so much stuff coming up, like The Amazing Race, new seasons of The Traitors. So if you're looking for a place to kind of talk with other reality TV show fans or other fans in general, we got places for sports. You can post pictures of your pets. So go check out the Discord. It's an awesome place. Just thank you guys once again for all the love and support. I really, really could not do any of this without all of you guys. You are what really makes this all run. Otherwise, I'm just a goofy dude talking to a camera. So thank you guys all once again, and I will see you next time.
Do I need to talk to you all the time?
No, you don't, but okay. I don't understand why you're acting like that, though.
I'm not acting like anything, Keanu. I don't want to talk to you. So why don't you turn around and make your little eggs and leave me alone?